With the reveal of Boruto chapter 88, the year-long mystery of Himawari's hidden power has finally been solved, and this new reveal in the story could potentially bring back Kurama as well. Not only that, the Shinjus have finally made their first move on Konoha, and following the streak of taking L's, Kawaki again got humiliated in a very demeaning manner. So let's unfold everything that this chapter has cooked for us. Starting off with a really elegant art on the cover page, which showcases Jura the Shinju for the very first time. This is the first time we get the colored variant of one of the new characters, which verifies the color underneath their cape. Now whether this would help us to find the true identity of Jura is a story for another time. The chapter is titled Trivial Matters, and I'm unsure if it's a reference to the invasion of the Shinju or Boruto easily dealing with Kawaki and his supporters. Both are trivial matters for Boruto and Jura individually, and it could even be that it's a reference to both of them. Anyway, the chapter starts with Eida looking at the fight of Boruto and Mitsuki and being completely astonished on how the young lord deals with things. It reinstates the paradox of bad choice that Eida has been suffering from ever since she has chosen Kawaki over Boruto. Both of them possessed the ability to offer her genuine love, a quality that was absent from others due to the effects of omnipotence. However, for some reasons, Eida falls for Kawaki instead of Boruto, and now she's getting to see the bad slice of life that she settled for. Later in the chapter, she discusses the same thing with Mitsuki, and I will get there in a moment. Suddenly, she gets interrupted by Kawaki, who asks her to trace Mitsuki's location, otherwise they will lose the chance to catch Boruto. This again shows Kawaki's overconfidence and his egoistic approach to get things done. Even though it is clear that Boruto will finish him off in seconds, he still wants to attack him in order to fulfill his resolve. It would be crazy to see how he ends up abandoning this desperation upon realizing how weak he actually is. The Shinjus are gonna humble him very soon, and that might be the beginning of his redemption arc. Not to mention, it won't stop him from becoming an even greater menace who ends up destroying the shinobi world. Delta tells Kawaki to watch his words and not act so aggressively towards Eida, as it pisses her off. But Kawaki doesn't really care who's mad at his behavior. The same sequence shows us Daemon staring silently at Kawaki. We know both Delta and Daemon are wrapped around Aida's finger for different reasons. While Delta is a victim of her charm, Daemon obeys her commands and demands due to the bond, which is why he doesn't attack Kawaki whenever he disrespects his sister. Aida's words are like gospel to Daemon, and it seems like the notion of being her knight makes him protect her with all his might. I'm sure he must be pissed at Kawaki's behavior too, but just because it would be against Aida's will to humble Kawaki, Daemon chooses to stay silent. Back to the chapter, Eida reveals the location of Boruto, and Kawaki gets all pumped to reach there. As a final note, Eida tells Delta to look after Kawaki, and they both head towards the destination, pretty much reminding us that Aida's feelings are still genuine, even after the toxic behavior that she has to deal with. It would be surprising to see if she turns a new leaf in the future after Kawaki crosses all the limits. We are then taken to Delta and Kawaki, where the cyborg girl says when Eida gets tired of him, she will herself kill him without any hesitation. Kawaki replies by saying once he completes his mission, he will disappear without a trace, so there won't be any need for anyone to kill him. I guess this is the most underrated panel of this chapter, as it not only unveils how much everyone is fed up of Kawaki and his Eida privilege, but also the secret scheme that he has planned as an aftermath of killing Boruto. He wants to disappear without a trace, which is the most pathetic thing he could think of. Something similar was said by him when he sealed Naruto, and there is even a chance that he's referring to his own death in this statement. But if he's trying to say he will go rogue and never be found again, then this is the most despicable move that he's gonna take. Even though we know these plans aren't going to see light, just because Kawaki will have a full-fledged makeover sometime soon, the original outlook of Kawaki on persuading his goals will always remain the most impulsive and irrational approach of a character in the history of Boruto. The next thing in the chapter is this claw grind, and at first I thought it's Ko talking to himself about the divine tree cultivation, but this dude is actually a setup for something major that happens later in the chapter. Shortly after, we are taken to Boruto and Shikamaru's conversation, where Shikamaru is worried about the cultivation of the divine tree as it means the end of the world, but Boruto assures him as long as the Shinju don't devour on an Otsutsuki like him or Kawaki, they are safe. He then asks him what about the people who have turned into a tree, and Boruto responds their chakra is being used for some unknown purpose. So the doomsday of the shinobi world can happen anytime if either of the Kama brothers get absorbed. Looking at how weak Kawaki is, it seems like Boruto will need to protect him as well to prevent the worst future from happening. Further, the exact purpose of the Shinju formation is still a mystery. It can be assumed that human intelligence made the Ten Tails capable of evolving itself naturally, particularly, in order to seek revenge on everyone who has done wrong with them. But there are even possibilities of Amado being the mastermind behind all this too. And if this video crosses 400 likes, I will bring a full video on this topic. Back to the chapter, Kawaki connects to Shikamaru and tells him that Eida has located Boruto and he's heading towards him. Boruto, who's also on the line thanks to Ino, uses the Flying Thunder God to escape immediately, making Kawaki realize that he has fled. Delta tells him that he's hard on luck, but by his expressions, it is safe to assume that he would be suspicious of Shikamaru in the future. Kawaki already held a grudge against him before Omnipotence, and now that he's again betraying him due to his big brain dispelling him out of the divine spell, if there's ever a major death in the story, I would say it's gonna be Shikamaru. It would be symbolic to his character, since all the other Hokages have attained a great resolve in the history of the shinobi world, and even though the current enemies are way out of his league, a sacrifice for the sake of the shinobi world to stop a destroyer would bring honor to his legacy. It would also pay homage to his master Asuma, who also got himself killed against Hidan. Back to the manga, we have a Mitsuki Eida moment after he returns to Konoha from the Boruto fight. Mitsuki tells her that before meeting her, it was impossible for him to understand love, cause unlike other humans, he was just a clone who can't fathom such emotions. The feeling that Eida arouses in him explains the essence of love to him, which according to Mitsuki is wonderful. Further, he explains how he has remained lost from the beginning in finding himself and the need of being under the light of a sun. But now he acknowledges that concept wasn't the best to follow and no one is going to be his light forever. He was able to realize this with the help of Boruto, and maybe he no longer needs a son, so he won't be bootlicking Kawaki as he used to do. Eida on the other hand explains how she has no idea about why she loves Kawaki, and it's always the curiosity of knowing something which takes the taste out of things. In other words, if she knew why she loves Kawaki, it wouldn't be love at first place. The mere thought of Kawaki pumps her up, and this feeling is what she considers love. She then tells Mitsuki they both are in love, and it's getting pretty emotional. Now I'm pretty sure she was referring to the artificial feelings of Mitsuki towards her and not the sun-moon bond that he shares with Boruto. On a final note, Eida says that she will need to have a talk with Boruto very soon. Now there are a few things that popped in my mind from Aida's doctrine. Firstly, I believe Kawaki turning a new leaf might be possible only with the help of Eida. There's a quote that says darkness cannot drive out darkness, only love can do that. But in Kawaki's case, it was actually love which pushed him into darkness at first place. This enormous hate that he feels for the slightest inconvenience can only be driven out with love, and since Naruto might not be able to love him the same way he used to do, chances are it's gonna be Eida who will turn him a new leaf with her relentless efforts. The second thing is the upcoming meetup of Eida and Boruto that I believe is gonna be in person. A point to notice is that Masuri and Bug Shinju are nowhere to be seen, and Eida is also on their hit list, so maybe upon meeting Boruto, Bug Shinju will attack them both and he will try to devour Eida. It will be interesting to see who will save Eida from a situation like this, as Daemon could be dominated by the Shinjus for a very solid reason that I will cover at the end of this video. Back to the chapter, the claw grind that we saw earlier was actually a setup for the Shinju's invasion on Konoha. Jura puts his head inside the cube, which is apparently made of claw marks, and ends up coming out from the back of the claw grind. Hidari follows him, and then we get a sequence which reminds me of Itachi and Kisame from the original story. The duo that is going to traumatize the village is here, and a lot of unexpected events are bound to happen from this point. They both invaded the village to search for Naruto, since they could sense his chakra from Konoha. Upon entering, the sensory division identifies Hidari as Sasuke, and Jura remains unidentified. With the leaf shinobis cursing Sasuke and his rebellious turn on the village, they all get killed in a matter of seconds, leading to a bloodbath in Konoha. Not to mention, these deaths confirm the analogy of people dying on a double-digit chapter number is still present, which means we can expect another death on chapter 19 of the manga, cause that would be the 99th chapter of the whole franchise. Or it could be that another death is waiting on chapter 11, since that's also a double-digit number, but that's a theory for another time. We then get to the earlier released panel where Jura enters a library and Hidari calls out Naruto. Then suddenly Kawaki appears and shoots his chakra rods on Hidari that he dodges effortlessly. Kawaki, thinking he has got a chance against them, starts barraging taijutsu but ends up trapped within the wood style. Jura uses some solid taijutsu on Kawaki's tree, but he somehow escapes and tries to retaliate. Then the most disrespectful moment of the chapter takes place with Jura landing a punch on Kawaki, which literally flew him miles away, and it was just a single punch. This literally shows how huge the power gap between the Shinju and everyone else actually is. It would be interesting to see the measures that Konoha is about to take against these 10 Tails fighters in the upcoming chapters. We are then taken to the final final phase of the quest to find Naruto, with Hidari sensing the chakra of their target coming closer and closer. Jura says it's a Jinchuriki who's holding the power of a tailed beast, but to everyone's surprise, this chakra was coming out of Himawari, the daughter of Naoto Uzumaki. This finally puts an end to a year-long mystery of why Daemon was so afraid of Himawari. It could also mean that these Ten-Tails warriors will be able to one-shot Daemon, since they are clearly much more powerful than whatever resides inside Himawari. The chakra that she was emitting wasn't from Shibai or Kaguya, rather it was a leftover of Kurama's chakra which somehow got into her body. This completely changes the direction of the story and even makes Himawari the real target of Jura. He was never after Uzumaki Naruto at first place, rather he was actually chasing the Ten-Tails chakra that Himawari was producing. It seems like we finally know what Two Blue Vortex actually means, and if you guys hit the subscribe button, you will be notified with all the top tier content revolving around Himawari that I'm about to publish this week. Till then, check out these videos for more amazing stuff. I will see you next time.